On ESPN. Today we've got a top 25 matchup for you from Austin as #1 ranked Texas gets ready to square off against the 24th ranked Baylor Bears from McCombs Field. 3 years combined. Sending one to the left field. Bella Dayton is there. One away.
But he did say, he was like, it was a night and day switch as soon as he lost all 4 of those that you mentioned, because he did think he was going to have a really strong roster this season.
Well, that one bobbled over at short by Vivi Martinez.
Pitched the first 5 innings for Texas. Said there was conversation from the returners about what happened last year and the history of this matchup. So she said they knew what was going on and they had the motivation and the energy getting off the bus to make sure it wasn't going to be a repeat. Last year having a back injury, so came in academically a sophomore. She's a redshirt freshman athletically, but offensively just has been so clutch for Baylor.
That one hops past Martinez, and Baylor has struck first. The Bears lead it 1-0 here in the top of the first inning.
Flores does a great job with this outside pitch. Gutierrez continuing to hammer the outside corner. Baylor adjusting early. Pylon with too much speed. There was no way Caden Henry was going to have a shot at her at home as soon as that ball got past Vivi Martinez. Baylor able to find the holes in the infield.
Now 10 base runners this season, trying to come through offensively here in the first. Washington backing up, can't get to that one. And the runners will hold on first, second, and third. Bases loaded for the Bears here in the top of the first.
Make sure she stays on the corners and not over the wide of the plate.
Here is Aaliyah Binford swinging away on the first pitch to deep right field, and that one lands in deep right field. Maloney couldn't hang on, 2-run score, and Baylor has jumped out to the 3-0 lead here in the first.
Well, Binford, this pitch over the heart of the plate. She is on time for it. Ashton Maloney, a little hesitation out there in right field, turns the wrong way, unable to come up with that catch. Again, Baylor making the most of their opportunities right now against Texas. Stretch it and mix speeds early. As we mentioned, so much film for opposing people to know exactly what you throw. You have to be ready to compete.
And that one hits her. Stelcheck is warming up in the Texas bullpen. Bases loaded again for the Bears. Here's Casey West. Chops one over Gutierrez. Martinez has to hurry the throw in time. What a top half of the frame for the Baylor Bears. They started the season in the circle. Ashton Maloney chops one. Diving for it is Cran on to first in time. Heck of a play by Leah Cran. Takes one to left field. First hit of the game for Texas. Times last weekend against the Sooners as Texas took 2 of 3. Martinez slices one to left field. And now the Longhorns with 2 on and 1 away. That one got away from the third baseman. The throw to third, and both runners wisely advance 2 in scoring position for Texas.
For herself because of her offense, both last year and her hot start to this 2024 season.
Atwood back up the middle. She delivers 1-run scores, and Texas is on the board.
Well, Reese Atwood drives this outside drop ball just right back up the middle. Too hard for Vivi Martinez to score from second, but Mia Scott does come in from third. Texas cuts into this 3-run deficit against Baylor.
Wright was putting too much pressure on herself, but when the rival Sooners came to town, a switch flipped. She delivered a game-winning double on Saturday and launched a game-winning homer on Sunday. The grad student housing. She also leads the team in walks, earns one there, and the bases will be loaded for Texas.
A freshman maybe to get a little bit anxious and make things happen, but Katie Stewart, good eye, passes the bat to Alyssa Washington.
The captain, Alyssa Washington, chops one to third. It gets away from Hot. Here comes Wallace, and Texas tacks on 2 more runs. Stewart is out at third, but the Longhorns still managed to tie the game at 3.
Well, Alyssa Washington pounds this one into the ground over the shortstop pylon. The bobble out in left field by Hott allows Adela Wallace to score, who was actually holding up, and Katie Stewart thought that Wallace was going to go, gets herself in a pick.
And the call is overturned. They do call obstruction on Collazos.
Being obstructed by the foot of Collazos.
Caden Henry snared by Binford. They got Stewart, the freshman, in a rundown and eventually make the tag. 2 away now as runners advance to second and third here in the bottom of the first inning.
Second.
Mitchell over to second, scooped up by Cran. And the first inning is over, 6 runs total. Payoff pitch. And a leadoff walk. That's a rarity from Gutierrez. This is something they will get more appearances. I'm not getting as many starts as I did a year ago. They said, don't worry, just keep doing what you're doing. You will get your opportunities. And they have come in conference play. Unfortunately for her, nothing she could do by the time it bounced in her glove. Baylor, the first 2 batters on here in the second.
Mentioned Gutierrez has 3 complete games in Big 12 play.
Stewart doesn't know where it is, and the runners advance. Now, Katie Stewart, not the usual starting catcher, but they're giving Reese Atwood a day off behind the plate.
Well, Stewart has...
The All-American Govan singled in the first, and that one hits her. Bases loaded for Baylor again. This is a night and day difference from... Got her. Big strikeout for Estelle Check. Collazos, Washington underneath it. 2 big outs recorded by Check, and the Longhorns allowing a single earned run or walk. Trying to get out of a jam here against Baylor in the second. Binford lifts one to center. Henry backing up and makes the grab. Texas gets out of a jam. Baylor leaves the bases loaded. Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC next year. What a schedule. As Dayton waved at that one for the strikeout. First.
Speed-wise and location by Binford on Bella Dayton.
Ashton Maloney, that one jammed her a bit. Pylon scooping it up, and it pulled the first baseman Govan off the bag.
Well, Ashton Maloney's speed makes Pylon have to rush, and the throw does take Govan off the bag. For help from the umpires, and that's exactly what happened there. Is Bubba Ewald at first base said he understood what everyone was arguing, and he went and asked the home plate umpire if she saw the tag, and sure enough, she did. That
was an adventure, but Wackendorf hangs on in center field to begin the third. The 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Baylor. The Bears have had the bases loaded in each of the first 2 innings. Martinez backs up as Cran pops up.
Every hitter she's faced so far has been 3 pitches or less. She's going right at them.
That bunt attempt popped up right into the glove of Katie Stewart as Anna Watson retired. Estelle Check has retired 5 in a row. Chopped over to first. Jolie Mitchell is there, steps on the bag. And a 1-2-3 inning. Hold on just a second, not quite. 3-2 on the way. Up the middle, Washington drifting over. And there is the 1-2-3 frame worked by Check and the Texas defense.
In the same district as I did, and I grew up wanting to be like Brittany Sneed.
Reese Atwood, that one nearly snared by Cran, was able to knock after the game, saying, look, you hit me, I'm the one. Into foul territory. Govan makes the grab near the netting, out number 2.
To the World Series, and then off on the offensive side has now been more of a threat than any point in her career.
And earns a 2-out walk. Chopped up the middle. That'll bring home the go-ahead run as Reese Atwood scores. Texas grabs the 4-3 lead.
Well, after working the count, this pitch up in the zone, over the plate. Henry gets on top of it, but a high enough chopper gets through the middle infield past pylon.
A hitter's count for Mitchell. Binford is there in the circle, and the inning comes to an end, but Caden Henry puts Texas in front with an RBI single.
Well, he talked to us about it, how many games they've lost in the 7th inning, but yet they hadn't won any in the 7th yet.
Hott lifts one to center field. Henry backing up, and this one off the wall. Emily Hott rounding second, and she will end up on third. The wind got a hold of that one.
Able to get it in, but Hott, a stand-up triple.
Chopped over to Mitchell. Tags the batter, and she had her eye over at third on Hott to make sure she stayed there. Lifts one to right. Maloney drifting over towards center and makes the grab, but the runner Hott tags and scores, and we are tied again. Baylor. Abby Flores swings at the first pitch, shallow left center, hauled in by Martinez, and the inning comes to an end. See how here in the bottom of the 4th. Della Dayton swinging away, and a leadoff single for the senior.
Contagious, and she has this extra gear. We like to call it postseason, Bella, but even when the game's on the line, she's able to bring it out, and Ashton Maloney feeds off the single. Mia Scott, known in this game for so many different things. Her
pylon
speed
goes to third, and they get the force in time.
Low below the knees for a strike call, but nonetheless, Vivi Martinez is going to have to fight it off.
That one finds its way to right field, and Texas has regained the lead. Vivi Martinez with an RBI single, 5-4 Longhorns.
Well, after that low changeup call, Binford gives her another changeup, and Vivi Martinez drives that right past a diving Leah Cran in the 3-4 hole. The speed of Ashton Maloney able to...
And here comes the red-hot Reese Atwood, 2 for 2 on the day. Swinging at the first pitch, she'll drive in another as that one bounces to left. The Longhorns extend their lead. Atwood is 3 for 3.
Well, the Texas fans love it, but Reese Atwood, this ball, a drop ball, gets on top of it, but gets the high hop over Callazos there at third into left field. Again, Mia Scott able, very different. So I think that's not only the deep, it's complementary.
Called strike 3 on Katie Stewart. And that one hits her up high. Shakes it off, and the bases will be loaded for Texas. Now up over 80 pitches on the day. Henry to center field, and a diving grab made by Wackendorf. Texas up by 2 after 4. Wackendorf flashing the leather. This one sent to right center, sliding in, Caden Henry patrolling center field as usual. And our pitching isn't getting the same strikeout numbers that we had a year ago. The defense has to be on. And nobody could get to that one as it bounces in for a base knock. But the Bears trailing by 2 here. Tying run at the plate, and Leah Cran. Runner is going. The throw on to second, and safe is Binford.
Texas sleeping a little bit. Binford noticing that Stewart's working on framing pitches.
But Check responds with a strikeout.
Still threatening with Binford in scoring position.
Anna Watson sends one into the gap. That will score Binford. And a 2-out RBI single by Anna Watson pulls the Bears back within 1.
Well, right now, Baylor being aggressive early in the count. You see Watson going after the first pitch. Estelle Check is 13 for 16 on first pitch strikes to Baylor since entering this game. She's going to have to use that off speed or strike.
The pen. Wackendorf takes one down the line. That's going to be a fair ball. Rounding the bases is Watson, and she will hold up at third. A two-out double for Wackendorf. Poked over to short. Martinez loses the handle, but recovers in time. Oh, my.
Here's the best view. The throw's coming across. You see Jolie Mitchell. It is definitely worth a challenge because of the momentum.
But the call stands.
Starters go as deep as possible so he doesn't have to play the guessing game on what he's getting out of his bullpen.
Swing and a miss. And the strikeout. 4 strikeouts for Binford. Dayton gives one a ride to deep center, and Bella Dayton has left the yard. That is her first home run of the season.
I'd have to believe after seeing Jolie Mitchell be victim to the changeup, Bella Dayton said, "This is a hard pitch and over the heart of the plate. I am going to be aggressive." She drives that right back up the middle. Just clears the...
Ashton Maloney swinging on the first pitch. Drifting back is Wackendorf for the second out. And it misses. For runs driven in. That'll drop in there in front of Wackendorf. Rounding the bases is Dayton, heading home and thrown out at the plate. No, Mia Scott slides in there safely. Texas extends their lead 8-5. What hustle by Mia Scott flying around the bases.
Well, Vivi Scott drives this into the gap, and Vivi Martinez drives this into the gap. Mia Scott with her speed. Coach White actually holding her up, but Mia Scott running through the stop sign. Coach, to have your arm throwing that many this early in the game, to be honest.
Atwood over to second. Cran is there, and the inning comes to an end, but Texas tacks on 2 more. It only scored 3 total runs in their previous 2 games combined. They've already put up 5. But tough to keep up with one of the highest scoring teams in the nation. As
you can, just seems to be very practical and into the game, but to each their own.
Govan brings her team right back into the game with a solo blast. Make it an 8-6 contest. Baylor is not going down quietly.
The offensive output that Glenn Moore has been waiting for. Shaylin Govan gets a pitch over the heart of the plate. That is served up, and she just absolutely demolishes that one. But Coach Glenn Moore talks specifically about their series against Kansas. They walked away, not a single win, and he said, we hit the ball much, and that's what she did there to Govan. That was not only over the heart of the plate, but elevated mid-thigh high.
Abby Flores chops one over to Martinez. 2 away in the first inning. Down the line, right to Jolie Mitchell.
And seed you appropriately.
There is strikeout number 100 on the season.
But they have done a great job this year of not just scheduling, but executing.
Washington launches one to left. That's her 7th of the year. Texas with their 2nd home run of the game, and they make it a 9-6 contest.
Well, for the 4th straight time in this contest, when Baylor scores, Texas answers. Alyssa Washington drives this inside pitch. Smooth swing, and it clears that left field fence easily. The captain leaving the yard.
Henry pokes one over to short. Pylon is there.
Feel safer up at like the 4th or 5th floor.
Payoff pitch on the way. Chopped over to Pylon. And here we go, 7th inning coming up. Baylor down to their last 3 outs. Morgan with the sub-2 ERA on the season. Martinez charging, scooped up nicely over it short.
Trying to nibble at the bottom of the zone, but hasn't gotten Baylor to chase anything out of the zone.
Snared by Washington. Some nice defense from the middle infielders here in the 7th.
Texas has really come out with a vengeance in this series so far.
Mia Scott is there. And the Longhorns take this series, winning Game 2 by a final of 9-6.
Well, Baylor came out and made a statement early, but every time Baylor looked to get back in the game, Texas made sure they increased their lead back and forth, but the Longhorns able to shut down Baylor just enough for this three-run win, but a full team effort on the offensive side.